Okay, so now we're going to do the bones of the leg, and these are the tibia and fibula. So I have the tibia here. Now I'm just going to hold the fibula up. Remember the radius and the ulna that we looked at a little while ago? The radius and the ulna are really like partners in the forearm because they're both about the same size, and they kind of look like they have the same structural importance in the forearm because they're more equivalent to each other. That is not the case in the leg. The tibia, you can see, is definitely the dominant bone. It is the true weight-bearing bone in the leg, and it is really the only bone that interacts with the femur. The fibula is really just a little supporting strut that gives us a little bit of lateral stability. So, much less important as far as our overall structural integrity than the tibia. Okay, so let's take a look at the tibia. I'm going to kind of shift over here so we can look at the proximal surfaces here. And these are the articular surfaces of the tibia, and they are the medial and lateral condyle. Now, to know which one is which, we actually have to start at the distal end. Okay, so when we look here, I'm just kind of letting this bone rest on the tabletop, and you can see that there's a little extension on one side that's not there on the other. Okay, that extension is the medial malleolus. Okay, so once you see that, you can come up to the proximal end and say, okay, then this has to be the medial condyle, and that means that this one would then be the lateral condyle. Okay, and we also, near the proximal end, have this kind of roughened area, which is the tibial tuberosity, and that is where the quadriceps muscles attach inferior to the knee to give us extension at the knee. And then we have this kind of angled area here where the bone kind of comes to a point anteriorly, and you have a really distinct border of bone right at the anterior surface. That is appropriately named the anterior border of the bone. Okay, and this is what some people refer to as their shin. Say I hit my shin while I was making the bed, for example. That is this anterior border that you're really hitting. Okay, and again, we also saw the medial malleolus at the distal end a moment ago, and this is the bump. If you were palpating your ankle and you felt that bump on your medial ankle, this is the bump that you would feel. Okay, so that is the tibia. Now here's the fibula. Again, much less strong looking. It's just going to give us our lateral support, and it has two ends. The end that's a little knobbier, okay, is the head of the fibula. Okay, and the end that's more extended and flattened, that is the lateral malleolus. Okay, now the lateral malleolus, if you went back to your ankle and you felt the bump on the lateral aspect of your ankle, that's what you would be feeling here, is the lateral malleolus. Now you don't need to know left and right for the fibula, but you do for the tibia, so let's just figure out this bone. Medial malleolus is telling you in the name it has to be medial. The anterior border and tibial tuberosity need to be anterior, so this has to be a left.